There is a truth that many people never learn until life forces them to. Peace begins when you stop reacting. This is the story of a man who discovered that truth, slowly, painfully, beautifully. In a quiet village near the rivers of Maharashtra, there lived a man named Devansh. People respected him because he worked hard, but they also feared him because Devansh had one problem. He became angry very easily. If the bus arrived late, he complained loudly. If someone walked too close to him, he frowned and muttered. If children played outside his window, he shouted at their parents. Every day he said the same line, "Why can't people behave properly? Why can't they leave me in peace?" His wife, Sarla, lived with patience. She never raised her voice, but she watched him with sadness. One evening she said softly, "Devansh, you let every small thing disturb your mind. Why do you give your peace away so easily?" But Devansh answered quickly, "I am not the problem. People are careless. People are rude. People make me angry." He did not know that anger was slowly burning him, not others. One hot afternoon, Devansh was repairing a fence outside his small house. A village boy ran past while flying a paper kite. The boy tripped and accidentally stepped on Devansh's tool, breaking it. Devansh exploded. He shouted so loudly that the boy froze in fear. The boy started crying and ran away. At first, Devansh felt proud. "I taught him a lesson," he told himself. But that night, while the whole village slept, he sat outside, alone. The moon was bright, but inside him everything felt dark. He whispered, "Why do I always feel empty after shouting? Why do I feel more tired than before?" He had no answer, but something inside him cracked that night. A small door opening. 2 days later, a traveling monk passed through the village. People said he had spent 20 years in the Himalayas, learning silence and wisdom. He was known simply as Baba Raman. He wore simple cotton clothes. His face looked peaceful, like he was carrying the sky inside him. Every morning, he sat under a banyan tree near the river, listening to people who came to him. Sarla noticed him and said to her husband, "Go speak to him once, maybe it will help you." Devansh laughed. "What will he teach me? I deal with real life. He sits under a tree." But his heart was tired, and tired hearts often walk where pride refuses to go. The next morning, just after sunrise, he walked to the banyan tree. Devansh stood in front of the monk, unsure how to begin. Finally, he said, "Abba, I am tired. People make me angry every day. I cannot control my reactions." Baba Raman smiled gently. "Sit," he said. After a long silence, the monk brought out a small bowl filled with oil. "Carry this bowl," he said, "and walk once around the tree. But remember, do not spill even one drop." Devansh walked carefully. He watched every step. He returned without spilling anything. The monk asked, "While you walked, did you hear the birds? Did you see the people passing by?" Devansh shook his head. "No, Baba, I was only looking at the bowl." The monk smiled. That is the secret. When the mind has one clear focus, it cannot be disturbed by noise. Devansh sat quietly. For the first time, he understood something simple but powerful. His mind was reacting because it had no focus. The next day, Baba Raman gave him another task. He handed him a white cloth and said, "Keep this cloth clean until evening." Devansh agreed. He walked through the market. Dust blew from the road. People bumped into him. Children played and threw small stones on the ground. By evening, the cloth was dirty. Devansh returned, disappointed. "I failed." The monk shook his head. No, you have learned. This cloth is your mind. When you walk through life without awareness, dirt will fall on it. He took the cloth, dipped it in water, and squeezed it gently. The water became brown. This, the monk said, is what anger does. It mixes with your mind and makes everything unclear. Devansh lowered his head. For the first time in many years, he felt quiet inside. Whoa! That evening, he made a decision. I will try, at least I will try. The first test came the next morning. A rooster crowed loudly near his window. Normally, he would shout. But this time, he closed his eyes and whispered, "The noise is outside, my peace is inside." For the first time, he did not react. Later, at the market, a shopkeeper tried to overcharge him. He felt anger rising, hot and fast. But he remembered the bowl of oil. He breathed slowly. He said, "It's okay, I will buy from someone fair." And he walked away. The shopkeeper stared, shocked. But Devansh felt something soft inside his chest, peace. That night, he slept deeply, like a child. But change is never easy. 2 days later, a group of young men teased him on the road. "Look, the angry man has become a saint." They laughed loudly. Devansh felt his fists tighten. His heart burned. His old self wanted to rise again. Then he remembered the dirty cloth, the cloth that became brown, because he let everything touch him. He exhaled slowly and said, "You are right. I used to be angry. Now I am learning something better." The young man grew silent. No one expected this answer. One of them asked, "How can you stay calm when we make fun of you?" Devansh replied, "When someone throws dirt, you do not have to let it stay on your heart." He walked away with steady steps. That evening, he sat by the river and whispered, "For the first time, I feel strong." Weeks passed. Sarla saw the change. Devin spoke softly. He listened more. He breathed before reacting. He chose silence over anger. One morning, he returned to Baba Raman and bowed. "Master, I understand now. The world will not change. People will not stop speaking, but I can choose what I allow inside." The monk smiled warmly. "As peace, Devansh, you cannot control the wind, but you can control your sail." Years passed. People began coming to Devansh for advice. He never gave long speeches. He always said the same simple line, "Peace is inside you, don't hand it to others." One day, a little boy from the village asked, "Uncle, do people still make you angry?" Devansh laughed softly. "Sometimes they try, but I no longer react, and when you don't react, their power disappears." He looked at the river glowing in the orange sunset and whispered, "When I stopped reacting, I started living." You cannot stop people from talking. You cannot stop problems from coming, but you can stop giving them power over your peace. Every reaction is a choice. Every moment of calm is strength. Next time someone tries to disturb you, smile quietly and say, "My peace is mine, I will not give it away." Because the one who controls his reaction controls his life. Do not wait for tomorrow. Begin today, even with the smallest step. Thank you for listening to Inner Tales. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, so you never miss another tale that brings warmth, clarity, and a little more light to your inner journey, while helping you grow day by day in your English learning.